Hello and welcome back to Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, where today we're doing more of the post-game monster content. And today we're going to be playing with Chameleos, because I want to play with Chameleos. In my opinion, it's one of the shining examples of updating a Gen 2 monster to later generation mechanics. Like, they made the fight so much better for Gen 4 when they brought him back in 4U/4G. He wasn't in base 4, but 4G brought him back. And yeah, it's just, I've already got my items all set up. They made it a much more pleasant fight. And honestly, it went from being one of my least favorite fights in Freedom Unite to one of my favorite fights in 4G. So yeah, it's a great example of how to do it right when updating a monster from the older generations to this one. Like, when you compare it to how they did Garuga, yeah, I'll take Chameleos any day. Garuga, they hardly updated, but Chameleos is actually good. And I don't remember where it starts. I think it actually starts just outside the, or maybe inside the nest. So let's head that way. I think it might have started in this hallway in Freedom Unite. Maybe. Could be wrong on that. Oh, there he is. Yeah, the biggest difference between this game and Freedom Unite is he spends more of his time being visible than invisible, which just makes it a much more pleasant fight to begin with. Fighting something you can see will always be better than fighting something invisible. And also we get to hear his music all the time instead of just when he's enraged. Because yeah, in the older games it was, while he's not enraged, he's invisible. In this game, he's invisible when he decides to do an attack that makes him go invisible. And yet they still did add some touches to make him feel at least a little bit more like he used to. And we'll get to those in a bit once we piss him off. So that attack right there is actually super easy to dodge. As long as you dodge in any direction when he does his little scoot back for it, then it won't hit you. If it's aimed at you to begin with, that is. It's got a very, very specific location that it hits relative to him. And if you move at all between when he starts the attack and when it gets executed, then you're out of that specific location. I will definitely say that as long as you don't look at his teeth, which are kind of creepy, Chameleos is definitely the cutest Elder Dragon, with his big dumb nose and just his general mannerisms. Ow. Uh-oh. Well, apparently he didn't aim properly. And we've knocked him down. So let's work on this little curly Q of a tail he's got. I don't know that we can actually cut it. I think it might require fire damage. I know it required fire damage sometimes in 4U. Or something. I don't know. Okay, so now he's enraged, which means he'll be doing more stuff that involves him going invisible. And also he expels all this mist when he enrages, which serves to make it really obvious when he's enraged, for one. But also it's a throwback to how you basically fought him in Freedom United. He was completely invisible when he was invisible. And one of the best ways to tell where he was if you tossed out a smoke bomb and put the smoke bomb, if he was between you and the smoke bomb, then you would be able to see him as basically a void in front of the smoke. So a lot of the fight you had smoke out, which made it so that you couldn't quite see the area quite so well. And so they've modeled that by having him expel smoke when he's enraged. So I think that's a nice callback to how you used to basically see the environment while you were fighting him. And also it helps him earn his title. In Japanese, his title is Mist Dragon, or something to that effect. So yeah, it's nice. It works on multiple levels. When he first showed up, you needed dragon damage to break his nose. And then in Gen 4, or 4U rather, I think you needed fire to be able to cut his tail. I don't recall whether or not you still need fire for the tail, but I do know his tail is rather stubborn. Though for whatever reason, if you were fighting him in a guild quest in 4U, then his tail wasn't super stubborn and was in fact like one of the easiest tails to cut. I don't know what was up with that. I think it's that in regular quests, his tail had like a requirement for him to be below 30% health, like a lot of tails do for, well, not necessarily tails, but like a lot of Elder Dragon parts. And then I think in guild quests, for whatever reason, it just didn't have that requirement. And it had really low break tolerance, so you could cut off his tail super easily in guild quests. Yeah, the reason this guy's breaks are so hard to get is because, I guess with the exception of his tail, if you break his wings or his horn, it makes it so that he can't be as completely invisible as he is right now. Oh, hello. Because once his wings are broken, then like the parts that are actually broken will still be kind of visible when he goes invisible. And once you've broken his horn, he can only do the semi-transparent invisibility that we saw for a moment just there. Also in 4U, when he went invisible like this to move to another area and do a thing at you, he actually teleported to the new area he would be. Like, he didn't have any travel time to get there. Whereas, like, you could tell because it would take significantly longer for him to get to places he was going once he broke his horn, and thus he couldn't be completely invisible. In this game, he no longer does the teleportation. He's got travel time no matter what. Also, you can tell where he's going to be, because if your character does the panic run, that means you're moving away from where he is. So that's one little helpful tidbit. And he's got this fun little tricky mount where he gives you this little brief window before another bit of struggle when he does his struggle. It's enough for one stab, If you go for more than the one stab, you are likely to end up failing them out. And we're just working on his nose here because it's a high-value break in terms of both preventing him from going totally invisible and also in terms of just rewards you get from it. Though his nose is definitely a low health break. You cannot break it until his health is low enough. Because otherwise it would trivialize part of the fight, I guess. That was the wrong button. Oh. Way to steal my potion, jerk. Unfortunately, as with Gypsaros, if Chameleos steals an item, you cannot get it back under any circumstances. So it's just gone forever. Used to be, in the older games, you could get, like, combo books and stuff stolen. Thankfully, that is no longer the case. And we need to repaint him in the next area. Alright, looks like he's gone into the cave, maybe? The nest? No, he's in the area in front of the nest. That's fine. As long as he's not in the freaking hallway, it's all good. Hey, buddy. It's a shame we're fighting him in an area without any net canopies. Because the animations they gave him for going up and down those, I honestly find to be adorable. Seriously, they're part of why he is the cutest Elder Dragon. Nice miss, buddy. And now he's mad. Definitely one of the most obvious tells for when a monster is enraged. Really don't need to rely on Challenger to tell us for him. That much is for certain. Okay, so if I parry the poison cloud, I can just sit in it forever, but if I Valor dodge it, if I go back in it, I get poisoned. Good to know. Can you imagine how nasty this guy would be if they had decided to give him noxious poison instead of just regular poison? It'd be a hell of a thing. What were you doing up there, buddy? Don't know why he decided to be up on top of that ledge. Ow. Ooh, this is his strongest attack. He just goes kind of crazy, spewing that poison all over the place. I do find it interesting that his elemental resistances change a little bit when he's invisible versus when he's visible. It's one of those things, like, how often does that really come up? I mean, it certainly came up a lot more back when, if he wasn't enraged, he was always invisible, but... well, not necessarily always. He was still visible, like, during his attack animations. Oh, that's something I forgot about. If you bring Sonic Bombs, you can... or, no, that was in the older games. In the older games, if you used a Sonic Bomb on him during his attacks, then he would be stuck visible for a while. But in this game, that's not a thing, because he doesn't really go invisible during attacks unless he's enraged. And most monsters are immune to Sonics while enraged in Gen 4. Oh. The one thing that does still work is if you blind him, he stays blind for a good long while. So let's go ahead and toss that out. And there's actually a fun little bit about him being blind. It's that the stars are not anchored to his head, but rather to his tongue. So if he, like, spits his tongue out, then the stars will follow it, which is kind of silly. Though actually, I think that might have been only a thing in games earlier than this one. And you can't flash him while the mist is out because the mist protects his eyes, I guess. Though, if he goes invisible, the stars remain visible. So that's probably why. Oh, he didn't like that. Yeah, they definitely took it from being a completely unfun fight in Freedom Unite and actually made it something interesting for Gen 4. Chameleos is definitely a success story. I'm kind of sad they didn't have him in World, but honestly, I feel okay with it. Like, Puke definitely takes a lot of cues from Chameleos, which helps alleviate it a little. And then there's also the fact that World does have far too many Elder Dragons. I get that its story is the whole Elder Crossing thing, like, oh, Elder Dragons go to the new world to die. So it makes sense that there's a lot of Elder Dragons. I just feel like too much of the roster is Elder Dragons. And considering the only monster they've added since launch that wasn't an Elder Dragon was Devil Joe. Yeah. Too many Elder Dragons. Like, I have a feeling the only reason Behemoth is an Elder Dragon is just so that you can't use traps on him. Because he definitely seems like he would fit Fanged Wyvern better. You know, I really feel like I brought too many antidotes. Because while, yes, Chameleos can poison you a lot, the poison almost never lasts very long, and it's just regular poison. So, yeah, look, it's already gone. This will be gone before too long as well. So, yeah, it's... basically, if you get poisoned by him and let it run its course, it's like a potion's worth of damage. There's not a huge need to go curing it. Like, sure, you can save yourself a little bit of healing supplies if you use herbal meds to get rid of the poison when you get it, but it's not a huge deal. Chameleos isn't really a high damage output Elder Dragon either. It's just, you gotta deal with that poison. It's gonna tax you a little bit of health here and there. Don't know why I hopped up onto that while he was doing his claw swipe. Was definitely way too early with that parry. And away he goes. Gonna be time to repaint him again, so getting the paint ready. I really am glad that they made Chameleos' theme play during the whole fight, because it's really way too good of a theme to only play when he's enraged. Like, I really like this battle theme. It's good. Let's just, yeah, dollar dodge that. Paint him. Oh, someone just got a little nose flinch. Uh-oh. I don't want to be here for this. Let's get out of the way. There we go. Thankfully, its range isn't huge. Oh, it is long enough. When he decides to do another set of sweeps, it's a thing. Though clearly the poison doesn't last very long. Did it even poison me, or was it just damage? I'm beginning to question it. Really? Again? I mean, hey, whatever floats your boat. Okay, that time he didn't go for another set. And now he's out of rage. Give me your little curly Q. Also, let me bust your nose. Like, honestly, I think of the trio of Elder Dragons, Kushala, Teostra, and Chameleos. Chameleos, they did the best job of making all of his attacks have anticipation to them. Because, like, Teo's got his instant charge. Kushala, I don't recall whether or not he's got an instant charge, but I feel like he's got some moves that probably don't really have much of a wind-up. But Chameleos, everything he does seems very deliberate. You can see it coming. I mean, sometimes you have to learn what the tells are, of course. They're not all long, but they're all there. Nothing just comes out of nowhere except occasionally him. But even that, there are ways to figure out where he's going to be. There we go. Like, a lot of his movements, the tells aren't exactly things that necessarily have to flow into what he does. But everything he does has a tell associated with it. So once you learn... Wow. We Valor dodged into the other poison and died. Great. But yeah, once you learn what each tell leads to, then he's very readable and just pleasant to fight. And I'm actually having a good time here. It's a nice low-stress monster, whereas most of the monsters I've been fighting for the past few episodes are not. Really? Just a bone in this? Thanks, game. Definitely didn't want, like, any Chameleos parts or anything. I mean, I guess it could have been Meldspar. Because that's how he goes invisible. His body has, like, a coating of Meldspar. And he can run an electrical current through it through some means or other. He's got some organ that does it. And that causes it to refract light differently. So that's how Chameleos goes invisible. It's running electricity through Meldspar. Even the high-rank Chameleoses do that somehow, despite us not being able to get Meldspar out of high-rank Chameleos. I feel like we could probably get one more mount on him, provided I work at it, and provided he, like, goes below a ledge instead of just sitting on top of it constantly. I need health. No, I don't want you stealing more stuff. One potion is enough. I didn't bring this stuff for you, I brought it for me. Kinda wish his nose was part of his mount zone. Considering how easy it is to hit sometimes. Hanging out way in front of him as it does. Dang it. That's right, he stole one of those earlier too, didn't he? I feel like he did. Maybe he didn't. Maybe I'm casting aspersions on his character. I can power up too, buddy. Got it. So now he can no longer go fully invisible. Let's just go ahead and hold this for a little while. Alright, I'm glad he decided to stop, because my stamina was gone. Ow. So yeah, poor guy can't go invisible, so now we can follow him wherever he goes. He can no longer get the drop on us. Thanks, cat. He also doesn't like being flinched while invisible. For some reason. I should grab this sparkly. Oh, yes, that was worth grabbing. I need more of that stuff, like a lot more. And here goes our Valor. Unfortunately, he's gone to an area with a very small and barely usable ledge. Pretty sure if we got another mount, we could probably get the wings. But without a mount, I don't know that it'll happen. So, buddy, if you would just kindly walk kind of over this direction. That's good. In fact, that was very good. Sorry, buddy, you didn't back up quite far enough. And give me my Valor mode. There we go. And then we can do more jumps. Or at least get more hits out of our jumps. Of course, now he's just denied us our ledge. Yes, please send that away. Could you send it farther, though? It's still all over the ledge. And now you're all over the ledge. This way, please. Just a little bit. Just a few steps this way. If you'd be so kind. Thank you. Now turn. Oh, we are actually low on time. I should not be focusing on trying to get him out. Let's just do some damage. Because as much as we are allowed to clear this by just having him run away, I'd much rather kill him. Get more rewards that way. Uh-oh. Ow. Thanks, cat. And the poison's already gone. Yeah, it's really not a huge threat. I'm pretty sure just these little poison clouds poison you for longer than any of his other poison moves. Which really kind of neuters the threat this guy poses. Let's go ahead and not be close to that. Yeah, unfortunately, in going for the tail break, we spent a lot of time hitting a part that wasn't super weak. And also, it's considerably safer to hit his front legs than anything else. Well, his legs and sides than anything else. So, yeah, a lot of the safest things to hit and a lot of the things that you want to hit to get the breaks are not things that you want to hit to do lots of damage to him. And I really should have considered that. Because, yeah, we might end up timing out. In which case, he will run away rather than just having us fail the quest. Yeah, more rewards if you kill him, so hopefully he'll do that whole not running away thing. Maybe he'll be like Savage Joe and just keel over despite having never limped. Getting hit by that this time. There's the limp. Unfortunately, I don't know that we'll have time to actually bring him down the rest of the way. Let's get moving and hope that we can. Minute 45. Maybe it'll be enough. It won't if he does more of this. Would have been nice if that was a knockdown and not just a flinch. Because as a flinch animation, it's just a little over-dramatic. When he actually falls, then it makes sense, kind of. Dang it. Just keel over, bud. Oh, I'm dead. I was talking about you when I said keel over. Just for the record. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we are not going to have time now. It'll take us about all the time we have left just to get back there. To say nothing of actually bringing him down after that. And now that he's moved, I don't know that we even can get to him in time. But I'll do my best. I'm pretty sure even in this game it's faster to go around rather than to climb up the other area. Especially when you are low on stamina like I am. But yeah, we're not going to have time to get to him. Oh well. Yeah, 10 seconds is not enough. Well, this Chameleos lives another day. But I repelled the monsters. Unfortunately, we can't go in and see him flying off, because Chameleos. But I can tell you where he is. Well, I guess not. I was going to do the oh yeah gesture, because you point up. But oh well. Yeah, if I was actually going for the weaker hit zones, maybe we could have brought him down. I'm pretty sure we could have. But alas, I decided to go for the tail cut. And with that, this episode is over. Join us next time when I think we're going to take on Crimson Fatalis. See you then, friends.